YouTube. Today we're doing a hot taper and a beard tutorial. So we're gonna start off with that guideline, flicking it up so that the guideline isn't too harsh, so it's easier to get out. And then we're gonna go in with our shaver. Same thing, flicking, not creating a harsh, dense line, because that's gonna be harder to get out. Not impossible, but you're gonna have to go back and forth with your trimmer. Now we're gonna do a fingers width open, followed by a 1.5 guard. This is my fading technique. I think it's a little quicker, a little more efficient, because I cut to try to save time. So right now we're just going from a close to an open, back and forth. Guards in between. A little 1.5 with the grain action to get that density out. You only cut with the grain on more so coarse hair. So we're just gonna go back and forth, just till we see that blend start to pop in. We're going with our 0.5 guard right now. Just using our corners, close to open. And everything in between, close, open, second, third notch, fourth notch, everything in between. Once you cut more and more hair, you'll see that, what areas need that specific lever notch. You'll understand once you get the hang of it more, but keep cutting until you understand that. I like to have 2.5 guards. So as you've seen right there for a little bit, I have that tighter 0.5 guard. I just feel like it cuts a little closer and details closer. And then right here, we're just doing close to open. Fade's already looking very blurry. It's already looking good. I feel like this technique is just efficient and cuts off BS, and it leaves gradients and bulk towards the top of the parietal ridge so that you can create more blurry look. How you create a blurry look is gradients, but how do you make gradients is by making the fade go from bald to bulk in a straight, consistent manner, meaning it's doing it gradually but quick. It's not elongated fade. It's not just stretched out, because that's not going to be blurry. Blurry is keeping the bulk, keeping the gradients on top. So right here, you saw the beard fit on the other side. Pretty much same technique. Open, 1.5, up, same thing. It's literally the same thing on the sides, it's just on the beard. Right here, we're just doing the exact same steps. So, with fading, you want to just do the fade, right? Then do your lining up, do your, maybe not straight razor, but do your lining up, do everything, detail, straight razor, detail some more. That's how you're going to save time and get a consistent, a consistent blurry blend, is the back and forth detailing, not trying to perfect it all on the first go. Do your first go, get your your template out of the way, and then just continue there. So right here, we're just on this side, as you can see, we're using the JRLs. So this is even a Saber 2 comparison, Saber 2 comparison with the JRL Onyx comparison. I think both are great. I think the JRLs maybe take a little bit more time, but they give you a little bit more softer blend, a softer feeling, compared to the Sabers. They just chop. So less room for error, but it's gonna be a little quicker. But as you can see, both sides are still blurry. This side needs to be a little bit more blurry right there in that little darker area, but I do come back later, and you'll see at the end. But I do come back later and detail that up. Right here, we're doing the isopropyl alcohol, 91%, all on the lineup. Everywhere you're gonna line it up. This is gonna remove oils so you can get a crispier lineup, and so that you can get that ash mark. Right here, we're doing a 1.5 with the grain right here. So why a 1.5 right here is because we have longer hair. A 1 is going to be a little too low, and with his type of hair, it's not it's coarse, right? But it's not like super coarse. So we don't want to cut it down as dark or as low as we would, with someone with darker hair, thicker, more coarse hair. Right here, we're just doing the exact same steps as the sides. 1.5, everything. You're going to see right here, I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to do with the grain against the grain, with the grain against the grain. I feel like this technique gets the hair flattened, because we want to flatten this hair. This type of hair, we want to flatten down, especially as Hispanic barbers, as, white barbers, or anyone that doesn't have this type of coarse hair. We're not used to doing this as much brushing. We might do a little brushing, a little combing, but it's not to this extent. When you're cutting coarse hair, it's all about brushing, combing, with the grain, flattening the hair, getting it to lay down. Right here, we're just detailing. Now I'm not cutting really this fast. It's sped up a little bit, but I do feel like my method is still a little quicker. I really enjoy my method, man. I like how quick it is. I like how I keep the gradients. I just like the blurriness of it, man. Like, I like how it saves time. Yes, when you're fading up, you can start bringing that fade higher and higher. But really, that's if you're using your razor, your clipper flat. You want to use your corners, especially when fading up. Corners are huge because it's all about detailing. Right here, we're getting this. We got our low pro compact with a gold 2.0 blade, and we're just lining up the back of the ear, creating a nice hook shape right here. I like these trimmers, bro. They're small, nice in the hand. The blade, man, I cannot find a good. I'm gonna do this whole haircut with this blade. I recorded this a couple weeks ago. I'm not the biggest fan of the blade. It looks like it's cutting nice. It is cutting nice. But I just can't. I can't find a good one compared to what I've seen online and what people say. I just cannot find a good one. I'm a big fan. This trimmer initially came with a Graphite 2.0. I used those really well. I warmed down a lot. I like the Graphite 2.0 a lot. Those are nice. I wouldn't buy another one just because of how many blades are on the market, how many I want to try. But yeah, bro. But I like the color of it. I like the blue and gold. It looks clean. Right here, we're lining up the back of the neck, or the back of the neck, the back of the beard, straight down, man. All my trimmers, all of them are equal. None of them is too sharp. I don't have a pair where, I can't do it right there. I can't do it right here. I like to, especially not trying to nick and tear people's skin up. You want to make sure all your trimmers feel good. You can always test it on the back of your neck, right there in the back of your neck where that back taper lineup is. You can always test your trimmers out right there, because for most part, for everyone, that's gonna be the most sensitive. And especially right here under the beard, I switched out to my instincts because I feel like they're just a stronger motor and they pull. They don't ever pull on me. These don't ever pull on me. I feel like most trimmers will pull initially, at least one time, but I feel like those Instinct X, the motor's just too strong and the blade's too sharp. It just never pulls on me. So right here, we're just lining it up, bro. My client does want enhancements, so we are just trying to provide a nice, not pushed back hairline so that we can put the enhancements over. My enhancements last around 2 to 3 days. So yeah, man, I'm just trying not to push things back. I'm doing this white pencil technique right here. If you don't know what that is, all I do is I just put the white pencil on my glove. You can see right there, tap it against the glove, and boom, 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 right back on the skin. This gives you the nice pop into where you don't have to keep going back and forth with the pencil. The pencil, drawing it on is cool, but I feel like when you draw it on, you just have to go back and like really blend it in, and you can create some irritation having to go back that many times with your trimmer. So I just like to do it initially this way. I don't know who taught me this technique, but I really like it. I've done a good amount of techniques to try to get this ash line. And how do you get the natural ash line? The alcohol technique and some got to be glued, or got to be, I think it's got to be glued or got to be whatever. The hairspray, alcohol, let that dry for a second, hairspray, and let that dry the entire cut. And that's how you get a natural, crisp white line. But, for this, the enhancements do not stick because it's a skin stainer. So you want it to stain the skin. So you want to create as less debris from the enhancement to the skin. So I've done a lot of tests on my own skin, and that this is by far the best way for enhancements to stick is just isopropyl alcohol and enhancements right over the top. Nothing in between, no hairspray on top either. That grabs onto the enhancement and makes it come off even faster. So this is the quickest technique. I love this technique right here for enhancements. As you can see, we're just icing them out right now, bro. Just darkening everything, getting that 4K pop look. In modern day barbering, you need this skill. I get not everyone likes it. I get it. But dude, a lot of people like it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to charge more, this just gives you another option to have under your belt to be able to charge more. Yeah, man, you see, bro. So I like the technique right here. Lean them back and then boom, just touch up with your trimmer like this. I love this technique. I think that's just the best way to look and get it perfectly straight. Straight razor work, man. We're just getting them crispy, bro. This cut is coming out amazing. The fade is blurry. The lineup is crisp. This is my boy Tyree, bro. I've been cutting him for around 3 years now. Really good dude, bro. So we got to make sure, secure the hairline, brother. We got to secure the hairline. Right here, we're just getting the vertical bar straight, going back over. Yeah, man, bro, we're just getting them crispy, bro. Make sure you pull the skin hard. Nice little 45-degree angle. Don't dig in. Take your time. Go slow. This portion might be sped up, so don't go this fast. I know this little section right here is nice and slow down, but other sections might be sped up. Take your time, man. You don't want to cut people up. To this day, I'll every blue moon cut someone, and I feel like horrible. I give them either depending on how bad it'll be. I'll give them a free cut. I'll give them just $20 if it's not too bad. But man, I try my hardest not to. Um, you can always insure some gel, some shaving gel. I just do it depending on the client. Some clients can take the straight razor just straight up. Some clients can't. So just consult with their clients, see what they do. Right here, we're just doing beard lineup. Boom, just that perfect C shape. As someone that does have a beard, bro, I feel like it's an advantage for me compared to other barbers. Having a beard, knowing what I like, what I dislike. Right here, we're flipping the razor to get a sharper edge. Shout out Cash Clips, bro. My boy, he taught me that. I did not know that. Been cutting for 6 years, bro. You learn something new every day, bro. So boom, you can just see we're pulling skin, and this is what that alcohol does right here. Boom, it gives us this nice ash white line. What does that do for us? It gives us a crispy look, but on top of that, it ensures us that we're not going to push anything back, right? Because especially with this beard, it's already not connected. I'm not going to just spray enhancements over it to make it connect. It would look goofy. But right here, man, we're done with the cut, bro. Yes, sir. Got him crispy, got him straight. Everything's super crispy for my boy Tyree, bro. Fade is blurry. Fade's got that nice pop. Line up straight. Yeah, man. So that's a cut. So just let me know in the comments what you think about it, bro. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all.